Good afternoon. Hi, Swati. Can you hear and see me clearly? I just need a confirmation that you can hear me and see me clearly. Oh, great. Thank you. So, let's get started with this episode of Super Sundays. Good afternoon, all, and thank you for joining me on this another exciting episode of Super Sunday. Today we are going to discuss about how to craft a winning sales pitch. Many a times that you go out, you talk to people, you meet sales managers, sales executive. They're so busy selling out to you that you don't know how to get rid of them. Many a times it so happens that we are in that position of a sales manager or a sales rep, and we don't know how to go about it. There's 50% chances of failure, there are 50% chances of winning. So what's exactly the sales pitch or the sales executives do or talk about? Let's have a look at that. I remember once I was in an event and I met somebody and I asked him a very simple question. What do you do? For the next 15 minutes, he was explaining to me what he did for a living. I just understood that he was a business development manager. But I didn't get any knowledge about what was the scope of his company, what was their product or service, or how they executed their business. And then his boss just walks in. We get introduced and he asked me one question. Anupama, what do you do? I was in an event, so I just looked at myself in the surroundings and I said, I just manage events like this. So you're an event manager? I said, no, I'm not an event manager, but I am into marketing and we organize these kinds of marketing events. Hi Priya, welcome. Hi Meena, thanks for joining. And then I posed the same question to him. I said, what do you do? He looked around. It was a hotel. And he said, we save revenue, expenses for this kind of hotels. My next question was, how? And he said, this is what we do. We help them with these fixtures so that there are less fire incidents, less expense on electricity bills, utilities. And then I realized these people were into firefighting. What 15 minutes of introduction was not able to give me an idea of the business, just 2 to 3 statements were enough to give me an idea what the business was all about. A lot of people do confuse between a marketing message and a sales message. So let's look at the little differences between marketing and sales. Let's look at what actually is a sales pitch and how to craft it effectively. Sales pitch is basically a formula that tells your prospective buyer about your product, how that product can help, and of course give them a fair idea or convince them to buy it from you. So it's more of a persuasion technique or thought process that goes into a sales pitch. You need to persuade, convince your buyer that you are the best in town and they should be buying from you. Marketing is all about awareness. Sales is all about conversion. Marketing gets you the leads. Sales closes the deals. So it's like a lead to deal bridge. The sales pitch is a lead to deal bridge. It actually supports your leads, persuades them, makes them understand why they should buy your product and close the deal. They should buy from you. So that's the basic difference between a marketing message and a sales message. Marketing messages are crafted for awareness. They are not specifically persuasive. They just give you idea of what the product is, where you can buy it, what are the benefits. But a sales pitch is actually a persuasive technique to convince the buyer to buy. So I hope you have a fair idea of the difference between marketing and sales. So I can ideally say that where marketing ends, sales starts. How do you craft a winning sales pitch? What exactly goes into it? Lot of things. And the first thing I would say is your information that you have about your customer, about your buyer. Every time that I come on Super Sundays, this is one thing I talk about very consistently, is know your customer. The more you know him, the more you have a fair idea of how he buys, why he buys, then it is easier to craft a communication message, a marketing message, a sales message to this particular target audience, this particular buyer. So knowing your buyer is very important. The second aspect of a sales speech is to know about your product and what problem this product will solve for your buyer. These two aspects are very important in a sales pitch. It not only talks about the need of the buyer, but of course talks about your product's ability or your service's ability to solve a particular problem of the buyer. A lot of times we listen to amazing sales pitches wherein you feel like, wow, I want this product, I want this service. And sometimes they just don't give you any clue of what the product is, why you should buy it. Why are we actually even listening to this kind of a sales talk? This happens because the salesperson has not taken into consideration a lot of aspects that go from knowing about your product to actually buying it. So from the awareness point to actually the making of decision of buying. So now let's see how we can craft a perfect sales pitch. What actually do we need to put in together? First and foremost, we need to know our target audience, or who am I talking with. A sales pitch can be of 5 minutes or it can be of 15 minutes. It can be on a call. Yeah, you know, telesales people. Yeah, it can be a call or it can be a personal meeting. Nowadays, the line between marketing and sales has gone a little fuzzy because social media, website are also used as sales touch points. You can actually have them for marketing as well as for sales conversion. So all these channels that we're talking about, how much time does a prospective buyer has time to look at your message is important. So you need to know first who your target audience is, right? And if that target audience is being attracted to any of these particular channels. For example, cold calls. You have a telesale call happening. Yeah. How much time do you think it will happen for? 2 to 3 minutes at the max. If you're meeting somebody in person, maybe half an hour. So this is your pitch target. Who are you talking to? and on what channel. Is it an email? That means it's written matter. It's a call, it's a verbal matter. If it is social media, oh, you can have audio visual, both, right? So this channel also is taken into consideration while crafting a sales pitch. The second thing is, of course, capturing the attention. Remember, sales pitches are always done to leads. That means they have a fair need, interest, or they are in your scope of awareness. And that's how they have a fair idea, requirement to actually listen to your pitch. Now it's about capturing their attention. How do you capture your attention? When I pick up my sales call and I say, I'm Anupama from 4C, that becomes my introduction. That's not going to give them anything. Yeah, but if the next sentence that I use is, in fact, maybe in terms of a question, a fact, or a quote, yeah, which captures their imagination, their requirement, how would it change things? How will it change things? Usually, when I pick up a call to make a sales pitch, we go through a process. Yeah, that's called a sales call process. How many of us do actually have these sales pitches written down step by step? I know my client, I know who I'm talking to. Come on, let's get on the phone. Let's draft an email. We just dive into it. We don't take a step back and make a calculative understanding of what should be said. Usually in a sales training, we train people saying that the moment you pick up a line, greet, introduce yourself, ask if they are free to talk to you, tell them what is this regarding. All these small things help you to hold on to the client a little more and to make him understand that whatever you are saying is important for him, just as he is important for you. Once you have the attention of your clientele, you need to support your offering with perfect facts. The facts can be anything. It might be a problem they are facing, and then I have this solution. It can be that you have done, maybe you're a website developer, you have developed a website for somebody, and you say, oh, I have developed this website for XYZ person. Yeah, please have a look at it, and we can do something similar to you, for you. I have made a revenue of 100,000 for XYZ client. That's what we can get to the table to you as well. We can do XYZ for you through our products and services and generate that kind of revenue for you. Support it with facts. Having said all these things, this becomes an actual pitch. Now that can be varied in terms of content depending how much time you have. If it's an elevator pitch is usually 2 minutes, not more than that, even less. You should be able to say it in 2 to 3 sentences, what your business is selling and why they need to buy. If it is an email, you have enough time to draft, but not make so long that the client just disconnects from the email. Yeah. So make sure that you know the channel, you know what time that client is available to read your message or listen to your message, and accordingly craft the message. Many times we do a sales pitch, everything goes perfect. We say we want you to buy this for XYZ reasons because this is your problem, it can solve this. I've given my benefits, I've tried to convince him, but I've not actually put it in words Order now. Buy now. Will you buy? Shall I send you the estimate? Shall I send you the quote? This is very, very important aspect of a sales pitch. Always ask for the sales. This is like unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever you say, to make sure that you prompt your lead to close a deal. Tell them what action to take next. Don't leave it hanging in between the two of you. Will you buy? Can you buy? Shall I send you the quote? These are prompts that makes him think twice. Yes, makes him a little take one step closer to the decision. This asking for closure is a must mandatory part of a sales pitch. Just telling them about your product or service, just telling them about how it's going to solve their problem, just telling them about how to go about the entire process is not enough. You have to ask for the sales. Once I have given the sales pitch, do you think people will buy at the first instance? If I have told you about my business, I have asked you if, okay, do you want the services? Can I come back to you in 2 days' time? Is that enough? No. To make that sales pitch a winning sales pitch, a follow-up is must. Earlier, we used to say around 3 to 4 times of follow-up is good enough to convert a lead into a deal. Nowadays, we are talking about more than 12 touch points before a lead is converted into a deal. And if I'm talking about 12 touch points, 12 times if I have to follow up, just imagine the amount of specificity I need to get to my sales pitch. I need to be very specific who I'm talking to. I need to be very specific which channel I'm using. I should to be very specific with what content goes into the sales pitch. And try as much as possible that I can close this lead into a deal with a minimum number of touch points. Having crafted a pitch, a lot of times, as I said earlier, we have this confusion between marketing and sales communication. Keep in mind, the marketing goals are in terms of awareness. How many people have visited my website? How many people have looked at my communication, post, impressions? That's what we're talking about. But when it comes to sales, it's all about revenue. How many people have converted? 100 leads, okay, converted to 10 deals. It's all about revenue. It's all about conversion. So when you set goals for your sales pitch, make sure you have a fair idea how many conversions you need to have. If I need to sell one product of 100 dirhams per day, that means around 30 products per month. If I have to have 30 closures, what kind of leads do I need to have in place to convert those 30 leads into deals? And to convert those deals, what kind of process I should have? We at 4C and myself personally, we are always talking about documenting things. I have seen many a salespeople, you give them a lead data, they go pick up the phone and start on. They don't actually put this in a document formation, in a process formation. After each call, what did I learn from this? What were the obstacles I handled? What are the challenges I faced? These need to be captured, because these are the things that will help you to refine your sales pitch. You cannot use the same sales pitch over and over and over again just the way it is. You have to keep on refining it, because a sales pitch is something that is repeatable, yes, but also scalable. It should manage all the problems that occur at each given touch point. I make sales call number 1. I have a process in place. I know what steps I need to go through. I'm done with it. But yeah, this client was talking about a competition with a low price point. Wow. I need to take this into account, because in the next sales call, if this does come up, I should have a very, very specific response to it. And that's how sales pitches are refined. Every obstacle, every challenge that comes through each of the previous touch point, has to be worked around, should have a response, should be resolved for the next sales call. It's a learning experience. This goes on. It's a cycle. It just goes on and on. The repetition, the refinement, it's a continuous process. It just doesn't stop unless maybe you have changed your product altogether, or your service altogether, or you have tweaked something. But this is where a lot of insights about your target audience is captured. This becomes the basis of your maybe next marketing communication. Maybe this becomes a basis of your next refined winning sales pitch. But make sure that your sales pitch is on the paper with each of the process, finally, questions, information filled in. How I'm going to talk, how I'm going to draft my email, with the headline, what copy, what call to action. Each of these channels have different aspects. But at the end of the day, it's all about telling people about your product or service, convincing them to buy. Just not convincing just because you have to convince, but convince them with specific reasons why they should buy and what problem of the client it will resolve. It should be supported with facts and information. And of course, end it with a CTA or the call to action of asking them what they want to do next. Do they want a quote? Do they want a call coming in? What do they want? Ask for the sale. Say that with this, I will share with you my sales, my brochure, my communication will happen next time with a follow-up on so and so day, so and so date. This is how a sales pitch is crafted. The content, as I said, can vary according to the time that you have with your client or with your prospective buyer. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment box and I can take them on right now. Communication, be it marketing, be it sales, has to have a goal, right? And if that goal is achieved, then nothing like it. A sales pitch too has a goal to convert your leads into deals. If you craft it with a thought for your buyer, with a thought that you have to ask for a sale at the end of it, with a thought that it has to be comprehensive enough to give idea about the benefits of your product and what problem it will resolve, I think you can repeat it all over again with each and every client and still get the best success rate. And if you have enough evidence to refine it, as you go along, then each pitch that you do thereafter should be a successful sales pitch. It will close your lead into a deal. That's all we have for today. Please do not forget to tune in at 6:30 with WhatsApp with Priya. She's going to talk about digital marketing automation today. So please diarize your time for today, 6:30 on the same platform. Well, I'll say bye for now and hope to see you again next Sunday. Same time, that's 2 p.m. for Super Sunday session, which is going to be super exciting because I'm just planning something different from what I have done till now. So ciao and have a good week ahead.